exceptional on. It's one of the ones he's sort of more well known for. The Tiny that 4Pirates have been playing basically as a main pick for them since the inception of their roster. And if I'm not mistaken, this Primal Beast is also one of the Mr. Morale specials. So, you know, first series of the qualifiers, you want to start out strong, you want to build a bit of confidence. You're up against a Na'Vi that, as much as their draft looks pretty cool, they are trying to introduce a new component, right? Ari, a newer player. He's played with some of the players on Na'Vi before, but every team dynamic is different. And trying to integrate this, trying to bring in a hero that requires such great coordination, like the Spirit Breaker, that could be something that 4Pirates try and exploit with their experience playing with one another.
Speaking of exploit, we have a little splitting ward mission with the smokes here. Okay. They're trying to get set up to maybe drop a sentry behind the tower or just double wave and outright cut the wave. See what Ari and Boom are up to down here. Ari Pari.
Yeah, I think Pari, the sponsor, probably extremely happy with this signing. Just makes sense. I'll take it here. Level 1 tree grab, so not really going to be able to contest if they just walk up and steal. But yeah, just dropping a ward near this area, perhaps trying to set up for an eventuality where they just cut the creeps, pull it over to that hard camp over there. We've seen that quite a lot from the Darkseer. The toughest part is going to be these early levels, right? Level 1 Darkseer, probably at his weakest. You want to get to that level 3 ASAP and just start blitzing down the waves with the level 2 Ion Shell.
Yeah, the golden hour is level 3 on Darkseer and level 2 on the Pulse 4, right? That's usually how you want to play. So you get the pullback, you get level 2, Darkseer gets solo EXP all the way, but Sansa is one of the better heroes that just kind of solo zoning because of Glaives of Wisdom. Yeah. They do get the creep block into the tower though, so the wave's going to come back up, the range creep is going to go down, tree grab as well, just going to push it out.
Yeah. Just kind of got to tank this harass at the start. Ooh, the tree's going to nab that courier. That's a pretty juicy grab.
Ari wants revenge though. Career hunter.
Yeah. That's about all he can do at the moment. Oh, the little squirrel.
1-for-1, baby.
That's brutal. Okay. Evens the scoreboard.
Shenanigans from both sides.
Yeah, here we go. This is what we expect here. Is this happening in the top lane as well? Is Ariel doing much pulling? I guess they don't really care about the TB Warlock too much because you're not really interacting much in this lane anyway.
Yeah, it's level 1 Umbra on Primal too, so just taking damage because Yuragi pop meta level 1. You're just trying to push and pull on Na'Vi here. He even has Fatal Bonds, so just try to shove the wave down and protect the small camp. So Ariel was off to the side, kind of fighting for a deward, but Curry did manage to deward it, but he got bloody blocked anyway.
Yeah. I guess the idea here is, as Na'Vi's side, you want to try and unlock as many of the camps as possible so you can play that push and pull, right? Because you Fatal Bonds, you get the harass, you want to sort of manipulate the wave so that the Primal Beast has to come up and feel a bit more uncomfortable. I guess regardless of what happens, it doesn't really feel like this Warlock TB lane is going to threaten a kill. There's nothing that's stopping an onslaught at any moment just to get out, right?
Yeah, there isn't. It's just a bunch of slows. He definitely can get out, but I think something they're doing really well, or at least what they plan for in the lane, is just to push. Because Primal Beast is not good at clearing waves. He wants to stack up waves, get the trample levels, then he'll clear it that way. But if he uses trample on a wave, that means he's not pressuring you in any way.
Sure. Keeping up the 1-for-1 trend here, packet loss on both sides. Ari gets some, and then the silencer's like, yeah, I got packet loss too. Okay, we're still equal.
Like
of course not. It's one of those things, people try and like out negative the other person. You're like, oh, you ever have that in school? Like, I remember sort of running into people who would try and compare how broke they were.
Do I have a question for you? So I don't use this map, this pop-up map that our observers are using, but has Dire Couriers always looked like that? Like, look at these Dire Couriers versus Radiant. The Radiant donkeys and Dire, you get like, what's this?
Adam, how many years have you been playing this game, bro?
I don't use this map, dude.
No, I mean, not even just this map. Even the real map. Like, if you look at the bottom left corner.
That's normal. It looks... I mean, they look the same on
they are different.
They look the same.
The Dire Courier is tinted blue, bro. Oh my god, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 343 Adam Sharp, former professional player, long-time coach of many prolific Southeast Asia teams, top 4 TI finish, by the way. Now discovering that the Couriers look different on the map.
How long has this been? I actually need to know. Actually,
I'll
never.
let you
They
know,
actually
man.
look. They just look like
That's
they're in a
insane.
different shade to me, you know. But obviously, on the
Yeah,
bigger
but
map, you
well,
can tell they're graphically different.
I mean, even okay, even if you use the base couriers and you don't have any cosmetics on, like the couriers just look different on Radiant and Dire. Did you not know that?
Um,
He did not know
I'm
that. That's
scared
fine.
to
Okay,
answer.
well, his brain is so packed with useful Dota knowledge, right? He's held on to the stuff that actually matters. So tell me what actually matters in this early game. What are both teams looking to try and accomplish in the early stages?
I feel for Navi, they just want nothing to happen in the lane. Like bot lane, if Darkseer is getting farm and levels, they're good. Top lane, Yuragi getting farm and levels, they're good. Walk TV, like you said, ain't gonna kill. But mid lane is where they want stuff to happen eventually. Sanctity and
Sure.
Natty Narwhal both kind of hanging out low down here. Probably eventually see Ari head over with a charge shell. Might even TP in if he's able. Not sure if he can leave the Darkseer so early on though. For 4 Pirates though, I feel like top lane is just stacking, maybe giving the Primal Beast more levels. I think I'd appreciate that a lot. Just get like level 2 or 3 on Ringmaster and kind of leave Primal up here because a level 5 Primal with like some phase boots win can be pretty scary for Yuragi, especially with the Storm being able to TP early on.
I still haven't really seen a move over from Ari. He'll start glancing over now, but a very nicely placed observer ward should spot him out here, giving Natty some time to react. And I think it tags him. Yeah, just the ward looking at the bull. The bull doesn't know he's looking at a ward. A bit more packet loss here as we're just getting the issues sorted out. Yeah, but this is kind of tough for the Storm, right? Because even if you know the Spirit Breaker's coming, just the fact that he's on his way or threatening that charge, you don't have a level in the Vortex. And even if you do, I don't know whether it comes out fast enough once he's
No
in
way.
range to stop the charge, right? Like it's way too quick. So it can be a very easy follow-up stun, as our observer is pointing out. And then it could just be a kill. The Ringmaster is glancing over, but it's still early level, so he doesn't have a box level or anything. You're going to rely on like a crazy Tame the Beast to try and scare both of them back at the same time. And I tell you, it seems a bit unlikely.
So one nice thing 4 Pirates have done to address this at least is obviously this ward that's catching Ari right now. So they're also aware of like what can happen. They pick this Storm seeing the DK and Spirit Breaker. So just investing more resources to protect Natty on this Storm here. So I'm just pretty concerned for the catapult timing. I'm not sure if the Ringmaster and Silencer rotation can do enough. But that being said, I also don't know if we'll see Kauri move down here. Probably just see them pressure their lanes individually and leave Ari to set up where he wants. I think that's like the whole power of the hero.
Here comes the
You
stun,
can fight this
Sanctity.
Sanctity.
He might not be tanky enough. The last auto attack, overestimating himself on the Dragon Knight there, going to fall. Good play coming out from 4 Pirates. They played towards the side that the Ringmaster was attending to, and maybe just a bit of lack of respect there from the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, I think that's quite a bad death from Sanctity. Gonna give away his advantage in the mid lane now, and it's also gonna push Storm closer to that level 6, probably even before the Dragon Knight, right? So I think this negates quite a lot of pressure.
I just feel like with this Spirit Breaker, one of the main avenues of play you're looking for is that mid gank before the level 6, but that window is going to close a lot sooner than Na'Vi probably would have wanted, and it's going to allow 4 Pirates to still remain pretty chill. Top of the CS, no surprise that it's the Tiny having a chill old time down here. He just has the wave constantly pushed into him because of those ion shells. And yeah, Natty, he's going to get real close to that level 6 and feel a lot more comfortable in the lane.
I think something else we need to look at is the left triangle, right? Like Ariel's been stacking it up here for his Primal or for his Storm, compared to this Spirit Breaker on Ari, who's been focused a bit more on just kind of lurking in the mid lane. No real stacks for Boom to recover. I'm not sure if there's anything on the right. And top lane, well, goodbye, Kauri.
Get the connection onto him. Nice little onslaught in. It's an easy pickup there for the offlane duo. But in comes the TP. Ari looking to punish. If they trade for Mr. Morale, it's actually going to be pretty advantageous to Navi, I must say. Yuragi is the one who gets that last hit.
Yeah, having the onslaught in there was not the play. Yuragi happily take that trade. I'm going to probably push out top and pressure a little with this catapult as well. But I don't think he can go too far down. It's a little scary.
Probably just going to try and find a deep ward in here. Okay, so both Na'Vi supports have now fully rotated into the mid lane. It makes sense that they're playing for this catapult timing.
Oh, no,
Spot
Ariel.
out that poor Ringmaster on a ward, and this should be a very dead aerial. Not much that the side of 4Pirates can do to stop it, and they're continuing to put on pressure onto this tower. Just face tanking it with that Shadow Word. Yeah, I mean, low mana on the Silencer, not a lot to work with on the Storm. This might just
go
be a
again
tower,
here.
folks. They kind of need a TP in the Primal Beast, but he already made the move up the top. Now they're looking at Natty. Can they follow up with a stun? A bit too far away on the Dragon Knight, but mission accomplished. Tier 1 tower down at 6 minutes and a half.
Yeah, next objective, the Shrine. We'll see if any teams make a move. Also, Attacker is pretty low level down here. Boom already level 5. I guess it's thanks to Ari leaving the lane as well. So Darkseer, again, gonna be pretty happy with this, able to recover, and Ari will start stacking too, I assume. Yep.
That's one downside about this position for Spirit Breaker is he can't do the two camps at the same time, right? I don't even think there's a way that you can line up the charge so that it stacks
Blood
both.
Grenade.
I guess so. $50 per stack, that's tough, man. I mean, you'll make it back in the long run, but geez, that's a tough way to use a Blood Grenade. It's not that going for his team.
Back top. Oh, no stun Attacker.
Okay.
Yeah, at least gonna force a TP down here, right?
It might be a bit too late. There's way too much damage over time. This Tiny's gonna get ticked out. Ah, that's just unfortunate timing from him, isn't it? I don't think he could have really seen that move coming.
Yeah, nice rotation. Na'Vi realizing they didn't even know the stun was on cooldown. Meanwhile, Yuragi playing it safe up here. And something we didn't talk about is like because Sangri took this tower so early, it's only really Storm that has 6, and the supports don't have damage. It's really Primal Beast is like the connector, right, in this game, who kind of offers damage. He has no phase boost or anything. He went for Vanguard, more of a I'm gonna stand top build. So Sangri has just been standing here the whole time farming, pushing in the wave, denying Storm every rune too. I think that's a big deal.
That's kind of the problem. They can get action happening. Nice little whoopee cushion. Ariel stealing the haste rune. Should be able to escape.
So much damage.
Oh my god. Wait. This is the first time I'm seeing this Ringmaster running away at full speed. This is hilarious. Look at him go.
Did you know the Gwenchana ding ding ding? That's what it looks like.
Yeah, literally he's saying the wait. And this is also the wait. They don't love you like I love you. Meanwhile, team fight happening top. Mr. Morale, he's trying to stand in the top lane. Nice little whip, keeping him away on Ari, but again, Na'Vi, this was exactly what they drafted for. 5 heroes up to the top lane, use that meta, use that dragon form, all the transformations, the golem to boot, to get themselves another tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, 4Pirates not able to respond anywhere on the map.
So triangle still stacked. He has the golem Kauri if he wants to look for something.
Onslaught, ticking away to the damage over time. That reflection, the Primal Beast, gonna beat himself up. Last little bits of HP, he's actually gonna take down. Damn, okay, Fatal Bonds now. Big stack. This is really quick gameplay coming out from Na'Vi. This is what they wanted. They'll steal just about everything under the sun. This is a 3k gold lead, Adam.
4k soon. The golem, the real ancient clearer. I was like, how do they steal stacks other than Darkseer Shell? But Kauri, man, he's level 8. It's 9 minutes. He's higher level than the Dragon Knight.
That's the Dark Grimoire for you. One of those crazy facets that just get you an advantage.
Wait, do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know who's Asta, Mike?
Yeah, from Black Bulls.
Oh my god. Plus points.
Okay, look, I only know that because I've seen a couple of TikTok compilations.
Okay. What matters is you know.
Okay. At least I passed this time. Adam's always quizzing me on these goddamn random pieces of media that I'm supposed to know. Look, I'm a Dota player, okay? All I play is Dota. What do you want from me? Bit of a setup here in the mid lane, attempted on the Natty now. Well, that's ambitious to say the least, given that Global Silence was coming back up, but can understand why Na'Vi are feeling so confident. They've gathered themselves such a large lead in the early stage of the game.
It's a choo-choo train coming for Attacker down here. No stun again.
Was he stunning, right? The creep wave just to clear it? He's gonna get run down. Global Silence just to protect him. Have to use it defensively. He still doesn't have the Blink Dagger though, so can't really keep the initiation going. And Na'Vi, take a look at the map. They're just doing such a good job pushing the side of 4Pirates further and further into their own little nooks and crannies of their side, denying farm, denying space. The only person who seems to have any sort of freedom is the Primal Beast up here, and that's only because they were done killing him. They took his tower, they took a big stack. He's not really finding much else for himself here on Mr. Moral.
Yeah, but look at his net worth. He's been paying the price for free though. 3.8k
Yeah.
lowest of the course. Meanwhile, Uragi's Yasha flying out, having the
Gets
freest
killed though.
game of his life.
Arguably, that's the most impactful move that Mr. Morale has made this game, right? Just killing that courier with the Yasha on it. It's slowing down Uragi's farming speed by just a little bit.
That's true. Technically, they're even net worth right now.
Yeah. I look at them, we wouldn't know it though, but I think for Pirates, what do they need to do here? Is it like, okay, everybody just try and farm? Because the space on your map to farm is starting to run pretty dry.
I want to see them touch the DK mid lane. They have double outs right now. I think they're pretty strong with the primal TP. Oh, now he did.
Oh, he finds both supports. Ariel in big trouble. Can't even box himself, and Padanek, he'll just TP out. Tried initially for Natty, there were two supports bodyguarding him, but they are the ones who sort of tank the gank instead. I guess that ends up being beneficial. You'd rather your Ringmaster die anyway.
Yeah, thanks the gank. Again, another move delayed. First, the defensive global. Secondly, this Ringmaster going down. Not able to use their ults. Na'Vi, it feels like every move is dictated by them.
It's kind of the place you want to play at if you were playing a Spirit Breaker draft. Opening up the map thanks to these transformations, like you said, and now they have free
the
reign
stacks
all over it.
again.
Another stack for them to steal. Yummy! Thank you very much, 4Pirates. They'll plunder your gold. It's a bit of a smoke move coming out from the Storm Silencer as well as the Ringmaster. Again, they want to use their ultimates. They still have global available now after using it defensively earlier on. Maybe start by trying to reclaim their triangle. Spot out onto Kaori.
Can they finally find the fight they're looking for?
The charge comes through. Global silence. They're looking at eliminating the Warlock. He is going to end
So
up
much
going down.
commitment.
No Golem available to pop. That was very close though. And now onto Sanctity. Huge stun coming out from Otika. Sanctity's dropping low and that Dragon Knight will drop as well. Uragi wasn't
Nice
able to join the
pulverize.
fight, and you might see a Pulverize trying to charge away now on the Primal Beast. He's not fast enough, and Na'Vi will at least punish one, but this is the
They're still
engagement that
looking
4Pirates need. They need to try and find a little bit more from this. Can you really run up into Boom, though? There's a lot of Ion Shell damage and not a lot of mana on this Storm. Otika still full HP on that Tiny, looking for an angle, but we'll just give it up. Meta was used. They didn't get to drop the Golem that fight with the elimination of Kaori, and that's kind of what wins 4Pirates that engagement.
Though I actually thought Uragi was gonna sunder him just to get the golem off. I think he was thinking about it, but not willing to give his life for his pos 5. So I feel like if he did drop golem and Boom came in with a mech there, they could have just turned full to 0.
Yeah, it's literally over, right? Like, that might just be... I don't want to say game, but that might be one of those situations where you're like, okay, this is the moment the game turned around. Still gonna try and play it chill, though. They are going... I say play it chill, as Dragon Knight just pops his dragon form and says, okay, no global silence, time for us to rumble. They found Boom over here, though. That's a pretty big kill. Natty Narwhal doing a really good job finding these angles. Pulverize out Kaori. Hold him in place.
Step bro, stop.
Yeah, now the Primal Beast, he's in some trouble as well. They drop the Golem on a box
Ooh,
only.
turn.
Mr. Morale is actually really tanky. He's holding on to his HP. Natty is
so
coming
much
back for
damage.
another initiation. Ari now dropping low. Sanctity on the front lines. They're doing so much damage in spite of the 4-man Fatal Bonds. 4Pirates, they're doing a good job at holding on to their territory, and they've just punished Na'Vi big time twice in a row now. Kaori's gonna drop. They lose Ariel as a result to the Golem, but you gotta keep in mind, that was a fight without Global Silence, and they still managed to win that.
There's the ults being down, no matter their damage. Boom going down at the start of the fight, no mech, no wall. And Sanctity, he has the dagger. I mean, he's strong in these like isolated situations, but when the team is running at him, Storm, Tiny, Primal Beast, all his heroes are a lot of magic damage. Silencer does pure damage pretty much. Their heroes are really good at killing DK. I see Na'Vi take like a chill pill right now.
Maybe time to slow the roll a little bit. You're giving a bit too much space, and just like that, 4Pirates more or less have evened out the scoreline. Natty, like we said, this is a signature Storm Spirit for him. He's done a great job stabilizing post-laning stage. Now he's finding his opportunities in these fights. I think the big thing I want to point out is how tanky is this Primal Beast, man? He's just fully kitted out to stand his ground and fight. And that paid off for him big time in that engagement. It took so long just to try and kill him. I don't think they even ended up taking him down.
Yeah, it's just the lack of meta, right? On top of that, the box was super clutch coming out from Ariel there. Bought so much time, probably just turns around, gets a pulverize, and again, no boom, no meta, just no damage. The double shells, we see the significance of it in that fight, not being there. 4 Pirates, they have a draft that is like kind of slow paced, but once they get to a point where they can kill heroes during global, I think this game gets a bit scary for Navi. Attacker, he's been doing a really good job of joining these fights. I see the impact they have. The two cores, both Storm and Tiny, they're starting to get online, and I'm a bit worried for Sanctity. He had a good early game, but when you go for his items, this dagger into Maze Slayer, when you're not scaling up and you're not snowballing when you're dying in these fights, the game becomes kind of awkward.
Yeah, he's kind of the designated frontliner for the team right now, but they will be able to secure themselves a nice, nifty Tormentor. So that will give that Charge of Darkness a little bit more move speed. Perhaps the surprise factor will now catch the Storm off guard. As Storm is in such a good position compared to his counterpart. They'll take the tier 1 mid tower as well. Just even trades out, knows that they're not in a rush, right? They're playing for this tiny timing. Like you said, Otika, he's been farming up pretty nicely, keeping up in terms of net worth. Big win of all of these early game shenanigans still is Yuragi, right? He's getting to that point where he's scaling up, has the Manta for the Global Silence, looking at a bit more stats with the Hurricane Pike as well as the Shard coming up now. Smoke up for Pirates. Feeling pretty comfortable with their current game position. They want to make use of the Global Silence off cooldown. You know, if they can find Sanctity, that will be a huge grab. Does he blink out in time? Too quick for them, and guesses wrong on Natty.
It was pretty important that he didn't die there. That might have even opened up rush potential, at least fixed 2 of their waves. Look at the wars from Navi, it's so deep, they have so much information top side. It also kind of tells the story of the line they want to play, right? It's like, okay, cut the map in half, we're gonna pressure like this. Maybe even wait for Roche, wait for Yuragi to have a better timing so they can look for a better fight. Because I think it does feel like they lack damage right now, unless they are prepped up with the shells. With Yuragi able to hit in meta, his Dragonlance is flying out for him as well. So hitting a timing soon on Navi here.
I guess one of the things we didn't really talk about with Navi is they don't have the best backline jump as well. You're kind of relying on the DK to start the fight, which means that his blink is more than likely going to be on cooldown. There isn't really anyone who can reach into the backline, find Pedanic, find Aerial. Kind of allows them to cast their spells with impunity, and we saw that come into play in that earlier engagement as well. The clutch boxes, the silencers coming out onto key Navi targets, just a lot of damage coming out from these two supports. And Navi, they need to try and solve their damage problem quick. 4 Pirates. Again, still just kind of playing for that tiny timing. Spotting out Ari on the ward here. We'll just get a charge out. Natty
Nice
playing
charge,
with him, but down comes the Golem. Global
nice
Silence
ring.
comes out, but a beautiful wheel holding them in place. Ari trying to turn around. Heels managed to get him through it. They basically pop, if I believe that was a Guardian Greaves use. Now Navi, they're on the hunt. They're looking for more here. They at least get the Ringmaster. That's a bit of an awkward attempt there from 4 Pirates. Maybe they thought the Spirit Breaker was alone, but Navi were completely grouped up.
Hey, Golf is bulldozed. The Global Silence came out for, I'm not sure what reason exactly, the Wheel of Wonder, but just no damage, right, between the 3 of them. Needing the Tiny or the Primal Beast. And Ari walks away. That's 2 outs for 1. Navi will take that happily. Now it feels like 4 Pirates can't really fight without these 2 ultimates. I don't think Golem is as important as the other 2. I guess Wall was used as well.
Yeah, to be fair, Ari was really, really close to dying. He's just going to get caught out here by a nice mid-ward, so they find the kill anyway. But yeah, I mean, I don't really blame 4 Pirates for going for that move. I don't think they expected the completed Guardian Greaves. Didn't expect the Warlock to be in the area with the Glimmer Cape save as well. Just so many additional little tools helping the Spirit Breaker survive there. Of course, he's looking at that BKB first because he understands it. That's what he needs to do to play the game. Mid lane, Sanctity, Dragon Form ending. He's going to get caught. Where's the rest of the team? Nowhere nearby to help. This is a bit of a mistake here from the Dragon Knight. I think that really characterizes this early game. Boom gonna try and come in with the grease, but that's about all he can do for his buddy there, as Natty is just outplaying him in the mid lane.
3-0 and 5, the Storm against DK. Lost his tower at 6 minutes, but just been really good so far. And now he's in a good place in his game, enabled by Global. He has frontline of his team. Attacker has the Shadow Blade too, so now we're gonna be careful about splitting up. It's really just the teamfight prowess they have right now, right? Between these items on the Darkseer, between the Golem coming out, but 4 Pirates, they're looking like momentum is coming into their favor.
This is one of those tough parts about the Spirit Breaker. You reach a point in the early to mid game where just the charge and a couple of spells aren't enough to kill these heroes anymore, and now you kind of need to split the map, but you're splitting the map against a Shadow Blade Tiny, a Storm Spirit ready to try and catch you out at any interval. 4 Pirates definitely the ones feeling like in the lead
no.
right now. Oh, a little bit of an awkward charge cancel. That is unfortunate. They'll still run up to Pedanic though. Arcane Curse onto 2, but that's not going to save his life. So gank tanked, I guess. Not too bad. They'd love to look for more here, but maybe if the global silence out of the equation, they're going to feel comfortable going to Roche. Mr. Morale, though, that's a much bigger kill. There's no one
Look
here
at
to help
Sanctity
him
mid
out.
lane as well. He blinks out, but will they chase? No. This is a hard kill.
They're taking forever. They're taking a while. He's got an onslaught away. They have a golem. Uproar in place. This guy takes forever to die. The Sanj as well helping him out in the status resist department. I
third
really
charge.
like this itemization coming out from the Primal Beast, but it's not going to save him there.
Does open up Roche though. I feel like losing the silencer was like not enough, but killing the Primal Beast there is pretty significant. Good news for 4 Pirates is that meta is halfway down, and so is Dragon Form, so they might be able to mount a fight here, even though they might lose the Aegis to Na'Vi. See what they choose to
Do
do.
you think it matters so much? Do you think 4 Pirates really care about this, Aegis?
I think having the Aegis on Storm or Tiny would be very significant for them, whereas for Na'Vi, it's not that huge a deal. It's more of like removing it from this Storm, right? We know the power of Storm Aegis. This gives you so much freedom, and there's also a lack of stuns, right, on Na'Vi. This Warlock, this Breaker, they're all going to be in trouble.
I guess with this Aegis, at least Na'Vi won't feel so scared about showing Yuragi on some of these side lanes with the main hero. Maybe they'll look for some tier 2s as well. Circles being drawn here by Ariel on the Ringmaster, just kind of mapping out where Na'Vi probably want to be playing or situated.
Yeah, it's also just their strongest hero right now. I don't think there's going to be any 4-man play without the Terrorblade. He's most of their damage. Sanctity is a bit poor. Boom obviously contributing a lot to team fight, but damage-wise, it's really just Yuragi. Maybe when enabling him to go for a more aggressive item build, just to pound heroes down through the stuns.
He's not really deviating much from what we saw previously. Just that Hurricane Pike, maybe the kite potential from him, he feels like it's quite important into the Tiny. And somewhere down the line, he's looking at that Revenant's Brooch as well. So the mixed damage coming out. True enough, apart from Fatal Bonds, the magic department is a bit lacking from Na'Vi. So that's something that obviously Mr. Morale has taken advantage of with his full Crimson Guard Sanj build. But yeah, they'll try and help themselves up in that regard. Game is honestly a lot more even than I expected. I kind of thought that Na'Vi were going to start running a train through 4 Pirates and just plundering them non-stop. But some of these early game fights, 4 Pirates, they just kind of did all the right things. Maybe it was just Na'Vi mispositioning and overestimating themselves. Now 4 Pirates back to a bit of an even game state. Despite this Aegis, I'm not sure... Sorry, what did you say?
Tiny was being charged. I thought they were going to make a move for him, but they did turn around. Yeah.
I mean, 4
back
Pirates,
to your point, Mike.
It kind of feels like Na'Vi are struggling to force initiations, right? 4 Pirates are just kind of dodging them, even though you have like a homing missile in this Bara. Comes. Okay, easy charge away.
Nice dodge. Another nice dodge. I don't know if you can run too far.
Oh, nice vacuum though, cancelling the TP from Ariel. Again, all they'll find is this pesky little Ringmaster who just laughs at them. Huh, my Storm is alive, I don't care.
This is the power of the Aegis, right? Enables Yuragi to kind of play alone. Let a team sweep the map, what Spirit Breaker and DK want to do at this point. Sure. Hopefully turn it into more objectives. But if you look at Primal, like as soon as they went out top, he's solo defending bottom. And Yuragi can't really kick him out, right? We talked about the item build, how tanky he is. It's the SNY now, pretty much going for X next. I like this, another form of illusion clear, more damage. Break against DK is super nice. We'll hit a Shivas too.
I'm not gonna lie, this Mr. Morale guy is really impressing me. As Natty and him, kind of the standouts for me in this game so far. Doing a really good job playing, min-maxing their heroes.
Speaking of standout, I feel like I have not seen this Tiny really do anything yet. I don't know if it's just Na'Vi doing a good job of being together, or it's just he's not his timing yet. I mean, he has Shadow Blade, usually we see like 1 or 2 free kills here and there. But Attacker is
Na'Vi doing a lot of grouping up, right? They basically have not broken up from the ball at all. So it's not surprising that Otika hasn't been able to find much. In fact, I think that if he does try to make these solo plays, he might be hampering his team a bit more than he's helping them.
Yeah, I agree. agree.
You can kind of rely on the Storm Spirit to find these pickoffs. You know, he has a non-committal zip away. He can escape from these situations.
He also probably feels like his game gets easier as his damage scales, you know? At some point in the game, he's gonna go in with some Harpoon Global Science and someone's just gonna die.
Yep,
And
yep.
there's no
yep.
point
Pop
doing
their
that
heads off.
now. Also, that was a big play, hitting that bot tower twice. He forced like 5 TBs from Navi down there.
What was that? Navi were like, oh, we're gonna get this guy, and he just Shadow Blades away. I think Navi definitely feeling a certain degree of pressure this game. You think when we go to late game, Navi still have an advantage? Do you think it's still even, or are 4Pirates a bit happier about going to a late game situation?
It really just depends on the net worth distribution, right? So based on Navi's distribution right now, I think whether they're happy late game or not is whether Ari gets to bash people. Because he's going for his BKB and he's eating up a lot of the net worth. In comparison to Sanctity, who I would say isn't the strongest late game hero, especially with this Corrosive Dragon. He has the Pike, Mage Slayer, just a bit more mid game, I'm gonna catch you and kite fights kind of items. I say Mage Slayer, but sorry, he goes for a BKB, so a bit more tanky, a bit more survivable. Also, tiny builds naturally into Silver Edge at some point, and the break on Primal Beast, all these spells are gonna be super annoying. So I think the DK late game is pretty non-existent. I think Boom might be okay, but like I said, it's not a great wall game. His job is to enable his team.
Ping out Aerial again, but a nice 4-staff up to the high ground. Not sure whether there was a whoopee cushion helping him out as well.
It was.
He gets all the way down there.
And the 4-staff.
And the Tumbler's toy, actually.
It's just a
3 little
triple
hop
bounce.
Yeah.
Little skipper.
Bouncing on it like a ringmaster would.
Alright, game's kind of chill. Navi, they missed their smoke. Bit of an awkward thing to break on that tree line, and Sanctity just wasn't in position. But 4Pirates, they're... Who are they gonna find?
I mean, they're coming back out because they know the Aegis has expired. Otika leading the charge here. There is a sentry, so he has to watch where he steps. Actually, a bunch of sentries in this area.
There's a Shrine of Wisdom, Mike. I swear teams are gonna meet.
Okay, are you serious? 28 minutes. And the dire Shrine of Wisdom, out of all places, is where we're going to see a fight.
Oh no, Boom.
It's a little bit hard to believe.
Do
Boom,
they see
he
him?
might run into the attacking party. They don't see him just yet.
Ping
Have an
comes
idea.
out.
Otika gonna
They're
look
gonna
for a
see him
setup.
now.
Yeah, they come. Up with the Storm Spirit. Trying to save the Darkseer with some of his own auras, but that's not gonna happen. Otika pops out, gets himself a kill. Meanwhile, though, Navi able to claim the Tormentor, so they get the nice shot there for Kaori, but the position is awkward now, right? 4Pirates, they have the advantage in the bot lane. They don't have creeps going in there, though.
I think they're happy with this. You take the triangle, you put a ward up, you just cut left, right, and then you get to choose, right? You either smoke down to kind of sweep. If there's no one there, you get top. So you have 3-lane control from this. I also think Roshan is out really soon, and what you want right now is map control. Try to bleed out Navi, get another kill maybe somewhere. Try not to use your spells before Rosh fight. I think that's really important, because right now this Global Science has super high value. I'd say it's probably the biggest spell for them, because they are strong enough to just kill heroes during Global. Oop, that was a wonk. If I
He's just one hit, Gunpowder Gauntlet, 3. God damn. Smash
550
those
damage.
kids.
Literally one creep per hit.
Dude, he kills Akari in 2 hits and the 3 throw, I think. If he gets a proc on the Revenant's Brutes, he actually just insta kills Kaori in 2 hits.
Is the
crazy.
Gunfire Gauntlet as well. One of my favorite neutral items.
It's so
cool
nice.
interaction. Yeah, it's the ASMR from the item, you know. It's like the Tidebringer hit, you know, that's such a
What was that? Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear that. Does it hear that one again?
I'm not doing that again. It was so bad. I was like, no, please.
I don't even recognize it. If you did that and you asked me to guess what neutral item it was, I would never be able to tell you.
It's like a... Oh my god, that was bad too. Okay, no
You can't
more.
even, I couldn't even hear anything. I think your mic noise cancelled it out.
Yeah, God bless. Try to save my career.
Okay. It's fine here though. Ari does spot out the... I think it was Tiny in the bot lane, but either Tiny or the Storm. I'm pretty sure it was the Storm. He manages to zip away and get back to safety.
They see Uragi.
They see Otaka forced to pop the BKB global in now. They're looking at Uragi, trying to dispel off the silence glimmer to help him out. Both teams just not really sure about whether they want to initiate. The nice whip to stop Ari from charging. They will try and focus down the silencer. Wheel of Wonder in a beautiful position. Mr. Morale in an even better position. Tanking up a lot of damage. 4 heroes with the Fatal Bonds. Nice rock onto 3. This could be the fight that Na'Vi were looking for. Onto Mr. Morale. He's still absurdly tanky. And the Boxers save him momentarily.
Nice
charge in, gets both supports. Looks like they will be the ones who get picked off. But meanwhile, 4Pirates reinitiating on the right side of the fight. They find Kaori with all his spells already being used, though. I don't think he really cares. Now vacuum in, Natty still trying to focus down Boom. A lot of heals coming out from the Nazi, but now he's out of mana. He's overcooking. It's way too hot up here and not the way the Storm Spirit likes. Sanctity managing to narrowly survive on a sliver of HP. Mr. Morale, and I mean the 4Pirates, they're doing their best here to try and find angles, but the Na'Vi ball, it's just a bit too strong.
There was a fight with an Arcane Rune Storm too. Just the initiation power from Na'Vi. They get the donk onto the tiny attacker, forced to pop BKB, maybe a little bit preemptive. The global defensively, I really didn't like that. I feel like Na'Vi doesn't have like chain stun to kind of lock you down, right? Sure. Maybe wait for the storm to come in, use the global, because the first zip was way forced. Feeling pressure from
he saw the global and he just kind of felt like, okay, I need to go now because this is our only window of making a move. I think, you know, you can start to see a bit of the pressure setting in for 4Pirates. They're desperately trying to open up avenues for their heroes to find opportunities in the fights. But Na'Vi, kind of keeping information here, doing a very good job kiting out the fights. And the way that fight started was pretty awkward as well, right? Otaka just kind of showing on the lane. They're just like, okay, free tiny initiation, let's go.
They need the damage from the tiny. He is the biggest damage source. He needs to be hitting during global. He needs Storm to pull whoever's in front of him, but he can't do that if he's dead.
He needs to not die randomly in his own jungle. BKB global again defensively. Double 4-staff. He's out of there. Somehow surviving. Ari popping the BKB to stop the storm from stopping him, I guess. They have to settle for a silencer. So they managed to preserve Otaka somehow, some way. But again, 4Pirates, they're kind of... You know, we were hoping that this Tiny would come out at a certain point and start dominating the game. He's the one kind of getting dominated on right now.
Yeah, I want to see 4Pirates try and make a move to take initiative, you know? I feel like if they start a fight with Global, get Kaori or get Ari, I think the fight's pretty easy for them. Like you said, the Tiny kind of 2-3 shots people. I think even this Spirit Breaker, if he pops BKB in one pull, maybe 2 seconds, he's just going to go down. Throw Pulverize if you have to, you know? Because Navi's counter initiation, obviously that's Vacuum Wall, but you have BKBs. I don't think you care too much.
Feels like these Na'Vi heroes are getting away with everything here.
I don't know about this Roche.
Now onto the Roche.
They might get it, but... Oh, probably
Global silence available to cover. They don't manage to snatch it. Natty has to escape now. And it's just to snatch the banner, like you said. I guess they'll deny that aspect of the push coming up, but that hasn't stopped Na'Vi so far. And now this is going to have to be some sort of a high ground defense.
So for a random jump, that was way too close for Navi's comfort.
Yeah.
Literally no vision. It's like, global. Went in, pump. Oh, what the hell
they had no idea that was happening as well, right? Like, they had no idea what HP level Roche was at. They just kind of gambled it and worked out for them. At least in the way of snatching away the Roche banner, but that's still not going to stop the push, like we said. DK. Otaka finds the DK, but again, Golem, it doesn't really connect, but now they found Otaka. The box to save him for now. Natty being bashed away by Ari as well. And now Yuragi starting to go to the town. You can't stand and fight. Silence up on the storm. He can't zip out. He does have a buyback. The Pulverize out onto... Is that a Golem? Mr. Morale, that I don't know whether that's the target that you want. Charging onto Ari thinks better of it. The gem does get reclaimed, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure whether Ari was able to pick that one up before the courier came out. But your towers, they're gonna drop. I mean, no Roche banner, no problem, right? If you kill the storm, now Otaka has to try and find an angle, but there's a sentry right there.
They still have the Wheel of Wonder too, Mike. This might be bad for Na'Vi. If they can find the
watch how they choose to stick around. Break out onto Sanctity. Looking at the buyback for the Storm. Anytime now. He's still trying to hold on to it. Maybe not even needing it. There he comes. Wheel of Wonder onto 3. They get a huge catch. And now they're controlling Yuragi. Has the BKB once he comes back up, but he has no more teammates. Oh, they didn't respect the buyback. Yuragi, he's going to be able to TP out, but that is not the way Na'Vi wanted to have that push go.
The biggest wheel of Ariel's life into the tiny cleave. Chomp chomp, look at the damage done. That's insane.
My goodness.
9,500. He hit what, 4 times with stun maybe?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah. That was crazy fight. It does cost them the Storm Spirit buyback, but man, is it worth it if you get that type of a result. That basically nullifies the entire Aegis push. You bought yourself maybe 10, 15 more minutes in this game, if not just stabilized it.
And they didn't even lose the melee Rex. Who cares? That was a big kill. Obviously, Storm not wanting to die there, but pushing this Tiny closer to his Butterfly. His Primal Beast as well. He's level 20 now. He does have super good scaling in this game. Going for the Heart next as the trample attack multiplier.
Yeah.
And these heroes, they are scary. We see how fast this DK dies without BKB. It's the break from Aghanim's Primal Beast. There's a break from Silver Edge.
It's so easy to focus him down, and Na'Vi, that golem at the start of the fight, hitting absolutely no one. It does help them with the push, but you gotta imagine, if they had it for that sort of second round there, things would have looked very different. A few sort of mini little slip-ups left and right really costing Na'Vi in this game. I say that as if they've lost, but I really feel like the only reason why 4Pirates have a chance right now is because Na'Vi are kind of giving them opportunities, right? It started as early on as those early game fights where they overextended and kept trying to push things when they shouldn't have. Just feels like they're not really respecting what the 4Pirates lineup can do.
Yeah, it's very scary to play these like tempo lineups if you're not disciplined enough to know when to turn around. Like sometimes you feel way too strong when you're ahead, and it's just that one fight that kind of turns everything around. The game, like you said, more than even right now. I'd say even arguably in favor of 4Pirates other than the Storm not having buyback. Might be a win condition for them, but Taker has 25 and a Butterfly flying out. That's a huge
I want to just
timing
pull
for
up
him.
the win probability
Avalanche
coming
cooldown,
up now.
baby.
It has just pulled over to the side of 4Pirates, just as you said that. It's just off of that fight. The Tiny able to get a couple of hits off. All he needs is the setup for his team. And like you said, it's just going to get scarier. Butterfly complete. He has a new handy neutral item if he wants to sort of pick something up other than the Gunpowder Gauntlet.
Nah, he's taking
I'd say probably
one.
not.
I
don't know whether you want Crippling Crossbow.
Do you even go? Do you just go lifesteal here? I feel like you do.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Magic
it's not like
resistance?
you need the HP, man. Oh, that could be pretty nice. Yeah,
18%
but it's not like
is a
Na'Vi have a lot
lot.
of magic damage.
There's shells, there's tick damage, there's fail bonds. I guess it's kind of complicated, which is why probably it's taking so long. He's counting right now.
He's doing the calculations. He's doing the calculations. Pirates not known for being good at math. Pirates known for being good at sailing on oceans and stealing.
Yeah, that's why they have 5
That's
players,
nothing
but
to
they're
do
called
with,
4Pirates, man.
Yeah, literally. That's something I wanted to ask. Who do you
One
think
stowaway.
is not the pirate in this team?
I don't know, but I think Natty Narwhal sounds the most pirate of all of them. It's
Yeah,
probably
right? He's
Ariel,
gotta be
right?
the-
The Little Mermaid.
I guess so, but maybe Ariel joined the crew, you know? They fished her up. They're like, okay, you can join the crew or walk the plank. She's like, all right, guess I have no choice.
Mr. Morel sound kind of piratey.
Yeah, that could be like a ship
Perdanic.
cook or something.
I can see
I
the
think
Perdanic
Otaka
too.
probably not the pirate, I'd say.
Ariel's,
kinda playing
Ariel
a
don't
very
sound like
humble
no
game.
pirate. Ariel's a mermaid. He is
Yeah,
playing
but
a humble
who
game,
says-
that's true.
Hey, you ever watch One Piece, Adam? Who says a mermaid can't be on your team?
Yeah, but technically a pirate is someone who takes, right? And he's taker. He's Otaker.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I see the vision. I see what you're saying.
Speaking of vision, the vision for both teams is probably
Wonderful.
Roshan. Wonderful. It's not that wonderful.
Beautiful transition there, Adam. That was spectacular. Great
Oh my
stuff.
God, look at the
But yeah,
5 dragons
I
in
guess
this.
Roche is the next item on the menu for Na'Vi. I can't imagine they'll feel very comfortable going to high ground again without that second life.
It's hard, almost complete. 4.5k HP Primal Beast, 4,000 HP and evasion Tiny. What the hell? Primal Beast feeding his career to a 59 HP melee creep.
Very nice. Very cool.
Very morale.
It's called charity, okay? You gotta give.
It's true. Don't know if you want to give it charity to the opponents that are trying to invade your territory, take over your ship. Now we hold in the high ground here. Establishing Roche control. It's also pretty hard to walk into high ground. I think it's this Darkseer Warlock. We haven't really seen this Vacuum's charge combo come out as well. Something to give 4Pirates credit for.
Yeah, they just done a really good job playing in and out of the fights, I feel like. Not really getting caught off guard, but this could be a start. Setting up onto Mr. Morrow. This is a very tanky
Nullifier.
target. The box, the Nullifier, gonna deny it, but meanwhile, Otaka starting to slap away. They've lost the Primal Beast, you have to buy back. Otaka now, the one under threat, but now Natty's gonna come in, Global Silence to cover. They still have some bashes out onto the Tiny. They're trying to focus him down. The fight is split in an awkward way now. They bought back on the Primal Beast, like I said, but they couldn't really find an avenue. And Na'Vi, that was a pretty good situation, all things considered. One hero down, not losing much. A couple of cooldowns expended. Roche still not available.
Really nice nullifier reveal from Ari there. The counter to the escape tag.
Yeah. Almost threatened that Otaka as well. They gotta be careful about this Primal Beast. He might just die back here if he's not careful. He's gonna go down.
That's a nice
one
wheel.
Hero out, but a beautiful wheel again. Boom. Burst healing himself with the Greaves though. Staying alive. Still trying to survive there. Natty looking to finish the job. Sanctity on the front lines dropping low as well. They will take down the Darkseer. And Natty, is he gonna TP out? Wow. This Storm Spirit, he is really getting away with everything. What a fight there. I mean, for Pirates, I thought it was going to be rough when they lost their Primal Beast with a dieback, but this Storm Spirit doing so much work.
I'm trying to understand why sometimes I see his Tiny hit and it feels like he's cutting through paper. And sometimes I see him hit and it feels like he's just running into a wall. Is it just the Revenant Bruce proc? I feel like he's doing more damage when the Wheel of Wonder is proc. I really don't understand what's happening. Could just be a Clave interaction.
I have a feeling it has something to do with the fact that Crimson Guard, I mean, no, I guess not. They don't have any Crimson Guards. They don't have any armor
just
or
a lot of
anything
procs
like that.
from the Brooch, from the Gunfire Gauntlet.
Yeah, could it be, you know, who he's hitting?
That's very possible.
Who was he hitting in that fight?
I don't know, but it looks like he tears through Darkseer more than anyone else on Navi's team.
Yeah, even Rashiva's a bit tough there.
They hear the roar. This is kind of scary. Oh, Kaori.
Very, very smart play there from Storm Spirit. He knew that there would be a Warlock channeling upheaval behind there. Global Silence used, though a bit preemptive. Spot out Otaka in his Shadow Blade. This is not a Roche they want to give up, but they still don't have their Primal Beast available to them for another 10 seconds. Yuragi trying to finish it up.
Storm has to check this.
They have to.
Can they even stay around though? I feel like Maddie
emptied the inventory. Impalement Arts getting the vision. He is a bit too late this time round. Yuragi will immediately pop that refresher shot. Start running forward, looking for a target. Sanctity. He doesn't have a blink out. He's being hunted down. Oh no, I'm high. Sorry. What the hell am I talking about?
Aegis TB though.
I thought for I thought for a moment that it was Sanctity who was on the other team for some reason.
It happens. I still call them OG in my head.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I mean, look at Yuragi, Ari, you know.
Yeah, no, like, we get it, right? Like, this is basically OG, but Eastern European now.
They all four have I in the back of their name.
I think it's understandable. I think it's valid.
Is it though?
I'll probably call them OG if there wasn't a giant Na'Vi logo in the top right
That's true.
That you can see with your eyes, but
I look at the 4Pirates logo and it doesn't make me want to call them 4Pirates. Where's my skull? Where's my flag?
Isn't it right there? Like, isn't that a skull? Easy
that a
Kaori
skull?
pick off there. Nice little catch from Natty. I think so.
I thought it was an umbrella, man.
Okay. That's just
you can't see it anymore. Right?
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
It's one of those, what image do you see first? Test.
I mean, this is a pretty good situation, right? Even though Navi got the Aegis, they lost Kaori, and that's a big part of their counter initiation. Natty Narwhal's been doing a great job just zipping around and causing havoc on the map. I still don't really feel like Navi have a good position to try and end this game, even with that Aegis.
4Pirates still in a pretty okay place. Obviously, now we can choose to farm, which they will, as they probably feel the same way as you. It's like, it's so hard to go high ground, guys. Lotus coming out for a silencer. I think that's going to be pretty significant. I'm not sure if he's going to get to cast it, but I think removing the Bloodthorn tick is pretty big, because a lot of the reason Primal Beast died was because the Bloodthorn damage came out. Be able to push that would be pretty nice. Obviously, he has the heart now. Might want some armor, but no, he's going for a BKB instead. Has the Pyrrhic cloak. How do you pronounce that?
I think you did a good job. That sounds correct to me.
But it looks too cool to be pronounced normally.
Maybe you add a little bit of a groove to it, like a Pyrrhic cloak. You know what I mean? Curl the R a little bit more.
Apparently, it's just pronounced Pyrrhic. That
I
is
don't know.
so
I feel
lame for
like the
Hearthstone.
Dota developers just like adding words that don't make sense just to make everyone suffer.
It makes sense. Dude, their vocabulary, I'll give credit to the neutral item namers. Their vocabulary is insane.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? You got amazing items like the Pirate Cloak, and then you got shit like Ogre Seal Totem. Okay, thank you.
Maybe I'm just uncultured. Speak English for 30 years of my life and still have to Google English words.
No, okay.
I'm
Is that
offended.
the real question? Is that a real word?
Yeah, it is.
Apparently,
I
it
just
is.
Googled
It of a victory won at too great a cost to be worthwhile for the victor. That's kind of what this game might end up feeling like for Na'Vi. It's dragging out a lot longer than they would have wanted. They were supposed to ball up, end the game fast, play tempo, Ari with the charge out. They found Otika. Okay, this could be a very easy setup. So much damage coming out from the Bloodthorn, and the Tiny's just dead. A deep ward placed by Na'Vi that wasn't cleared out by 4Pirates. That's gonna open this Rex wide open for them.
Uragi says,
that looks
knock,
pretty
knock.
easy.
Bloodthorn on his own, off his own too. Tiny has buyback. Probably gonna wait for the meta to go down a little. It's really hard to initiate here. Look at Na'Vi, they're just not showing. Banner in the mid lane too.
And trying to make this too. Sanctity already bashing on the mid lane
Storm's
tower.
pressuring top. They have to find a way to initiate here. They can't just give up both lanes. Storm.
Crimson Guy is buying some time. They still have a glyph available, but surely at this point you don't really pop it up. That upheaval attack speed, my goodness, they're mowing through the towers. Hello, 4Pirates. Your base is kind of dropping. They can look towards the third. They still have meta going on. Okay. I mean, this is one lane of Rex away from being Megas. Big Aghanim's reveal there from the Storm Spirit, pulling them in, and maybe that's enough to scare Na'Vi away. Still have the Golem, still have the wall. Only thing is the Dragon Knight form has ended.
Na'Vi will just say like, alright, thanks 4Pirates for your 4 barracks. Show mercy for now.
Looking at 6. Still
Or
trying to pressure out. Boom with a nice vacuum wall. Ariel, 4 staff away. In charges Mr. Morale. It's really a fight that you want though. Still 15 seconds. Your Primal Beast is just gonna die! 4Pirates, they're losing the plot a little bit here. Na'Vi, we were worried that this game would be a bit Pyrrhic for them, but it's looking easy instead.
They talked about the
they
Crimson
just
Guard
came in.
counter. It's Ari with the nullifier.
Yeah, I guess so. The break as well as the nullifier, it's such a value pickup. And Otika, whether that was a team decision or whether his own decision, it's really cost them here. He's holding on to his buyback. I mean, at this point, you're up against Megas.
You're up against the Uragi Terrorblade with the Aegis 6 slotted. Na'Vi, we'll take a break, go shopping maybe, spend some gold. No real reason to force here. Still a lot of room to grow. Pretty annoying to try to go into this tiny end storm with eggs. It is still pretty scary. The Wheel of Wonder has been their bane in every fight. That's what it feels like. But 4Pirates, I don't know how they really come back in this game.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, I kind of think that you could probably play around Otika not having buyback, but I don't know how you play around Mega Creeps, especially with this lineup. Like, I get that the cores can clear the creeps easily, but this just feels like you're setting yourself up for eventual failure. This is only going to get easier for Na'Vi as time goes on now. Because anytime you step out of the map, it's an easy charge through. So they're basically in prison at this point. 4Pirates, they've finally been caught and sentenced. Yeah, I don't really know, Adam. Honestly, 4Pirates, they showed quite a bit of promise in that mid game. It looked like they were sort of on the verge of turning this game around and getting themselves a good point to play from. But then 1 or 2 mistakes from this Tiny as well. I think, he's done a good job contributing in some of these engagements, but I feel like he's kind of getting caught out in places that he really shouldn't be. And that has cost 4Pirates their position in this game.
Yeah, they should make him walk the plank.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you die?
Kind of messed up.
Alright, Na'Vi. Bing chilling time. Waiting for Rosh. No reason to rush. Eggs being queued up for the Terrorblade. On this for Kauri. Everyone's just kind of shopping, enjoying life right now. Some very Falcons influenced gameplay.
Yeah.
Actually, it's close to Hex too. That's going to be pretty nice for them. Makes the initiation much more clean rather than relying on Ari to get this charge in. Let's see, any nice talents coming out? With the... Hold on.
Spot Kaori. This is a pretty nice pick-off thanks to Otaka. Huge wall though. Golem drops it before he goes down. The Death Golem as well. Got the catch onto Boom. Okay, two nice pick-offs there. Couple of ults used, but... Yeah, Uragi and Sanctity,
Navi,
they still want to play on this
Navi,
Fatal Bonds, but is this really an angle? I don't know. Kind of need to back up.
Better run. They can't hang around
Mega
though.
creeps.
Heroes need to go back to deal with these waves.
Yeah. Traveling Illusion starting to go to work as well.
The Storm overstay. They need to break the Lincolns though. Yes, Pike and Blood Torrent. Oh my god,
the gem though. He's fine.
Was he not in range? I feel like he could have definitely piked and Blood Torrent there. Maybe asking for a charge to break. Didn't come up in time. Alright, small wins for 4Pirates, who still have a game.
Do we though? Is this
do.
one of those games that just kind of...
We do,
kind of
but it's going to be
ends?
Pyrrhic.
Yeah.
It'll be very Pyrrhic if they win. The Tiny hitting
This
your
is the
base
most-
is no memes. You can definitely lose.
Yeah. He has a long road to go through to get to that base though. That's kind of the problem that we have right now. And Tiny, you know, with the amount of map control that Navi has, not one of those heroes that can just kind of walk up and create that situation for himself, right? He's relying on a Miracle Storm Aghanim's Vortex. Something like that. Ari, being controlled up. This will be the fight that Navi choose to take. Beautiful Wheel of Wonder again! Oh my goodness, the damage is insane. Uragi has the TP out. Oh!
7k net worth lead gone.
He
just like
literally
that. It was 10K,
he was
Mike.
one hit away from dying. He was one hit. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can play around Mega Creeps if your Tiny's just got a 3-shot heroes like that.
Dude, it's the Storm too.
I mean,
So
it is-
much damage. What's this? It looks bugged.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I know the shot was bugged for a little bit, but now he has
no,
2
was it-
times
it was-
overload, attack, bounce.
Dude, even in the top lane before he had the shard, it did so much. I guess he's just bouncing between 2 heroes. Also,
Yeah.
the Silencer, he was chilling at base, but Egg has a refresher. Once this X comes out for him too, it's gonna be so annoying. Man, what is this? Navi Mega Creeps, but why does this game feel like it is up, down, up,
What?
down? It feels so
Dude, I
even,
literally
Mike.
have no idea what this game is. I felt, at least at the start, I was so sure that Navi had assembled their ball in a very convincing manner, right? They were supposed to play tempo, they got these towers, they had great moves, and then they just kind of walked up, gave 4Pirates a huge chunk of change, and suddenly, I mean, Otaka, he's a couple of times where he's been picked off that has cost the team even megas to put them in this current awkward position, but
Bot lane.
yeah, 4Pirates again
Uragi,
with the
chomp
setup
chomp.
onto Uragi, has the Sunder Kaori, BKB and Pike away, still being chased down by the Storm Spirit, dropping very low but will survive this time round. Ari looking for the punish onto Natty Narwhal, who is so low on the Storm
Wants
Spirit, but he has the
Uragi, the
Aegis,
damage.
so he's fine. Uragi is dead. Now they will turn onto Otaka and be able to kill the
he has
Tiny. That's
buyback
pretty
bots
huge.
too.
He does have a buyback, but can he come back into the fight in this awkward position? It's Natty Narwhal, the real carry of this fight now. Looking to finish
the
off
Tiny
Boom. They'll
minus
buy back
Storm
on
does so
Uragi.
much.
They need to bring the Terrorblade back in, but he's still survived on Boom. Ogre still up to the high ground. Wheel of Wonder going wide, not catching anybody, and they lose Natty. Mr. Morale looks to be going down very soon as well once he pops out of the box. And Navi, this time, they'll be the ones to punish 4Pirates for going a bit too deep.
This damage this Storm does is freaking unreal.
Yeah.
Plasma and the
don't
bounces?
know.
Oh, no,
It
Navi.
has to be the bouncers, right? I mean, at this point, it's a 4v5 at best. Navi, it's been a Pyrrhic game for them, to say the least. But if they can close this one out, a lot of discussions to be had between the now to the next game of how they can make things a bit tighter, because it was messy, it was nasty for Pirates.
Alright, hold on, Mike. The fight's
don't know if
coming.
they can-
Storm has buyback. If Uragi shows, I think he actually can just die.
Yeah, Uragi
One
needs to
stun,
be so
one harpoon,
careful.
no BKB.
9 more seconds until that comes up. Just low commitment push. For now, pull in the silencer. He's in big trouble. Does have a buyback though. Buys back immediately. Power starting to get punched away at the Sanctity, the one showing.
I like this from Navi. Just
Pop that
watching
Storm
Sanctity
buyback.
hit. No pressure from Yuragi. He knows he can die.
Buyback on the Storm. They need to try and find something here. Can't just use this for no reason. Start out onto the Dragon Knight, but he's able to just Hurricane Pike away. Yeah, Navi, they can just reset. 30 more seconds until your Primal Beast
Dragon in
is
one.
up. This is the best opportunity that you have. Dragon form up again. Sanctity gonna start punching into that Ancient.
Oh, they're on
Little
the Tiny.
Fable, they see Otaker. They're on the Tiny. The boss, the save. They couldn't get the Nullifier out in time. He's gonna come back out, do some damage. Smacking onto Yuragi. Pop the BKB though. The 1v1 duel
has
between
no
both
buy.
the carries.
They get the Sunder
Yuragi's
off.
gonna survive. And with the Sunder, he's fine. Natty just can't do enough damage. But with a huge Lotus and the cheese, he's trying to turn things around. The Golem clips the Storm, and that's gonna be curtains for Pirates. They try their damn best, but it's just not enough. Navi overwhelmed them. My goodness, what a game themselves on the board to force a game number 3 and stay alive in the upper bracket. Although, all things considered, you know, no flame, no shade, but I don't think people would really blame them, right? Navi, the players on their side, a lot more, I guess, experienced in the scene, a lot more prolific in terms of tournaments they participated in, experience as well. But this is the time where you can kind of catch people off guard. It's these close qualifiers where, you know, you're not too sure about your opponents. Maybe you haven't played with them as much other than a few times you've run into them in pubs. And it's a new patch, 7.38C.
Talk
There's a
about
chance that
experience, Mike, but in the first game, I feel like they were experiencing a lot of things that they shouldn't have done.
That's true. That's fair. I did see the facet choice from the support Magnus. More often than not, we see that diminishing return just because you don't really get much mileage from that eternal empowerment on the Magnus, especially since they reduced that self bonus.
Hey, Return Shockwave is super cool.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's really, it's so
It
obnoxious.
helps you
to play
set up
against.
when you have dagger too. You can actually just Shockwave and then like people get stuck in place, right? Pretty much on the comeback. It's just a free skewer.
Oh,
Speaking of
Kaori?
free. Nope.
Looking for an Astral. Can just dive away if he wants to sort of use that, but just uses the fog. Very, very nicely done from Kaori. Because of that, Yuragi able to make use of the tail end of that smoke, grab away a bounty. 3-1. Just because 4Pirates, they were trying for that late smoke aggressive move, they don't find a thing.
Surprised he didn't throw out the shards there to block him. I think forcing the dive would have been pretty significant because, like we talked about, the Fire Spirits is really nice in this lane, right? So I think just keeping a Phoenix at level 1 for like the first 2 levels will probably give Tai and Tusker a pretty good time up here. A bit of a mistake, I want to say.
We'll see whether that's the case. I mean, Kaori now, he's going to be able to level up that Fire Spirits, and this is something we didn't really talk about in the draft because we were so obsessed with predicting it. But this is basically his signature hero. He is the one Phoenix player, I think, other than Whitemon, who's so prolifically known for this pick.
Whitemon?
And pioneered a lot of the sort of advantages and little power spikes and little plays that you can make around it back in his time in Quest.
The goats of Phoenix on POS 5 are Kaori, and the goat of POS 4 is GH, who is now a POS 5, so he's transitioned goat.
Yeah.
Whitemon is a goat at probably every other hero.
Yeah, that's fair. Indo Pride. You know how it goes.
I'll give his Phoenix a 9.5 out of 10. But like, you know, his Ringmaster, his Chen, his Tinker, those are good like 11 out of 10s, you know?
11 out of damn, straight off the scoreboard. That's crazy. And just to clarify again, you are being serious, right? This is not an April Fool's joke.
I am being serious.
Okay,
We're
Whitemon
in
gets
the game.
11
I
out
don't
of
make
10.
jokes anymore unless I'm wrong.
Okay. jokes off
Unless
the
I call
menu.
them OG.
Sorry,
I'll save that
sorry,
for the April
humor
Fool's joke.
lovers. Okay, we'll see. Navi,
I
though,
am the humor.
like you said, should be pretty okay in these lanes. I think the only one that's a bit concerning is this mid lane. And Natty Nawal gonna tank an unlucky tower shot. Uh-oh. Not really where you want to be. I think this gets easier for the OD once you get Essence Flux levels up, right? Early on, you're just trying to secure last hits with the Arcane Orb, trying to deny last hits with the Imprison.
OD doesn't really pressure you in lane at all. It's really just level 5 to 6 that he gives you like kill potential. You're good in the game, you know. DK doesn't really care about you in the lane. They are a high armor hero, so DK can't really bully you out as well. It's kind of a farm, but I would say the OD is nice because he sets up for a Tuskar. Like just some, if Sanctity is kind of low, you just Astral into Tuskar TP with tag teams. That's probably a dead Dragon Knight.
I will say though, until the Tidehunter gets himself a bit of an advantage, I kind of feel like the 4Pirates way of starting the fight is a bit awkward. right? You're relying on aerial to maybe blink in, shard someone or punch someone, and then, you know, hope that they have no response and you just slowly chip at them. Like, what is meant to be the follow-up? Because your only control is like, I'm just imagining a team fight. You kind of need Blink Ravage from Mr. Morale. That's really about it, but who's going to give you that info on the front lines? Other than maybe Terrorblade Illusions.
Yeah, if he presses Ravage and they press Santi's Eclipse, Navi might actually just die.
That's fair.
With Fatal Bonds?
First, though.
With Fatal Bonds?
Oh, that's true. Okay. Okay, I see the vision.
You see the vision? Stevie is just a wave pusher, man. He doesn't need to do anything in this game.
That's true. He's not
As
the real
long
carry.
as
The real carry is Natty
OD
Narwhal.
It's true, but I think to be the real carry, you kind of need more than 9 CS at 3.5 minutes. Mid lane.
Yeah.
Looking interesting.
Again, OD is not really the type of hero that recovers well. In fact, a lot of the times we see mid ODs go for the Midas as one of the still sort of heroes that have to pick up that item just because EXP and gold, that scaling potential is so important. Sanctity is doing a really good job just being as annoying as possible. He has 12 denies on the OD of all heroes.
Just the donk spam. The donk. Donkey donk.
I don't presume we're expecting. Are we expecting any action on the lanes early on here? I don't suppose the Tide Tusk can really do much, and you know, with the way bot lane is shaping up, Ari's just kind of being annoying, pushing waves, and probably preparing stacks
Top
eventually.
lane, some actions happening for you, Mike.
Okay, Kaori finds that first blood onto Mr. Morale, probably dropping a bit too low. The level 2 Fire Spirits is a great timing for the Phoenix. Might just be able to find more. Nice shots, trapping them in the tower though. Yuragi... Okay, well, he still has a salve. He'll be fine. The blood grenade to cancel. Ariel might pay the price for that one, but Yuragi's not going to commit. Just giving it up with the Tide TPing back in. Nice little combination play from Yuragi and Kaori to get that first blood.
You just man up with Fire Spirits and there's literally no counterplay. Especially with Anchor Smash down. I think that's like the most important thing. Boom. Doing real good down here. Stacking coming up. Ari just a melee hero expert pulling waves. Like all top tier post 4 players know how to do.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
A TP in the top lane. They're going to try and punish Kaori, but he already dives away back to safety. Not sure whether he caught a glimpse of that, but either way, not going to get punished.
Not sure I like this Warlock TP.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's not doing much in the bot lane, huh? So might as well.
Guess so. More levels for TB, never a bad thing. More points in illusions, farm faster. They will walk mid together though. Sanctity has to be aware of this. I think he understands that double 3 heroes hitting him with tag team means he's probably dead. 2 points in the orb as well.
And set up with a nice astral. Ariel getting into position. The pings come out, but he's trapped by the shards, and attack team damage starting to ramp up. Still no level 6 for Natty, but it's not needed. Beautiful rotation there from the 4 Pirates to help their mid laner out, and Sanctity gets punished.
Lucky for him, they can't really turn this into anything, but he is gonna come back into a level 6 already. So need to be aware of the double death here, which is probably why we see Navi's heroes coming in, at least on the supports, to kind of help him deal with this. So I want to see his Tusk and Warlock come back here.
Yeah, why not? Just keep the pressure going. I mean, it's not like you're really going to get much done against the PA, or maybe you can if you find a nice setup. Yuragi is half HP, and they're going to Mr. Morale instead. This might be a little bit of a bait play. Yuragi has a big wand, but he's going to be able to blink strike away, looking for some sort of follow-up damage, but it might be Kaori able to finish the job. Kraken Shell gets popped, and Mr. Morale is going to survive. Very, very nicely done. Some clean moves early on from 4 Pirates. They just realize they can't do much in the lane, so they bring the 2 supports on a little excursion.
I like that they're playing together. It's so nice when you have Tuskar. It's just the tag team double down, you know. Meanwhile, Terrorblade's farm not really affected by this. Sanking and Magnus can't really push you out. Boom also choosing to maximize. Look at the stacks on the right. He'll probably have a super early dagger. So he has it queued up right now.
Set up here. Pulling him in. Still no level 6.
Level 6 soon hit the
set up there, but he can't get it.
Oh my god, the skewer actually killed him.
Yeah.
He was trying to hit the range creep to get 6. Nicely
Do you think he
done.
could have gotten it in time? It kind of looked like he was done anyway, because it's not like Ari had any reason to hold on to that skewer.
That's true. Just giving him credit was
Yeah,
the
yeah, a little
intention.
bit.
The intention matters.
Yeah, we see you, Urtica. That was a good attempt. Unfortunately, it doesn't end up resulting in anything other than his death. So nice little setup there from Na'Vi. Just taking advantage of the Sand King level 6 timing prior to the Terrorblades level 6.
I'm unhappy right now.
Yeah,
How is
let me
this
hear.
DK here in mid lane? He should not be able to lane, guys. You picked OD into DKF. Tuskar Warlock. Grief his ass.
Yeah, get in there. Beat him up. Like, I mean, you were saying that you didn't really like the Sand King pick that much. No, sorry, the DK pick, right? Like, what? Why do you think it's not so good this game?
Because I think against Warlock and TB, the logic of at least when I used to play, oh my god, that sounds so old. But I think
well.
when the interaction is if I press Golem and Meta and you press Dragon, you probably lose. So I guess they have egg this game. So it becomes when you press let's just talk about the normal spells, okay? When you press
Sure.
Meta, Ravish, and Golem, can your DK stand there? Like if the DK and TB are looking at each other, who wins? And
Sure, I
feel
guess
like
you're
DK
looking at
loses.
the heroes conceptually, right? Like what they want to do
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
game. And well,
But
I guess
DK
the
is
one
played a
caveat
little
to that
differently
is,
now.
I mean, Dragon Form is a lot lower cooldown. I guess technically speaking, if you look at the numbers, it's like 1 minute, 1 minute earlier than the Warlock Golem. So maybe you can find your little windows there.
Yeah, it's just
I
more
guess,
of like
I
I
don't
guess DK's played differently now. Before when it used to be more of a direct counters when DK was a man up kind of hero, you know. Like you go his blink, but eventually goes into like his DK beam yonder, and the DK cannot fight.
Sure.
But I think right now the DK, the way they itemize, they buy dagger, they buy pipe. Easy for them to play around.
Found OD, dodge out the stun, but that's still going to be a free epi channel for them. Think about dropping the Golem, but I mean, realistically speaking, Natty Narwhal did not have enough time to turn around and put a hammer down. They're still looking for the setup there. Blink in, boom. Making good use out of this blink reveal. And yeah, I mean, they get 2 pretty big kills. That's going to unlock the mid tower for them.
Alright, this game's over. 3.2k net worth OD. How play against double blink dagger. Supports no come kill DK. Not fun.
Yeah, man, I'm a little surprised here. I thought that the OD would do a little bit better in the mid lane, especially early on. We still saw Sanctity able to get quite a fair few bit of denies. Now Boom has his Blink Dagger. He's going to scale up as well. I mean, PA's had a pretty free time up here. Maybe they need to try and punish him.
Apparently our observers to try and tell them that hold on, I'll let you get to the fight first.
Well, I don't know whether the side of 4Pirates can really capitalize on this. Uragi dropping very low. They will egg right in the middle. This is not really a great situation.
The egg,
but
guys.
They can't protect the egg. They're not going to turn around and commit for it. And that is going to cost them. They use 2 ultimates for absolutely nothing. Now, Natty Narwhal's going to come in, imprison up the DK. But all of these are just defensive moves. He can't really get much mileage. And Sanctity, with that shield moon, he's just going to beat down your tier 1 tower. Everything is going Navi's way in this early game right now. 5k gold lead already. This is somehow even more stompy than game number 1.
So OD's level 7. He's Midas time, man. Like you mentioned. The OD Midas this time. You need it.
Can he even afford to do it? I don't know who else on his team is making space for him right now.
Right,
That was not a great first use of the Golem. That was not a great first use of the Ravage either. Would have been nice if they could find at least Uragi, but even he slips out of their grasp, and things are not looking too hot for Pirates at this early stage in the game. A nice sentry to block out these camps in the triangle though, so not sure who found the time to go and plant those. Maybe the Tusk, but again, similar situation. Na'Vi starting to close out on the map, starting to get an advantage.
They ain't gonna stop though. No Golem, no real team fight is OD. They know how useless he is right now. Picks for more of a mid-late game impact. They'll move on to the 3rd tower. See a little shoveling going on.
Blink Dagger reveal from Sanctity. The double blinks are now online, which means Na'Vi, they're going to be scouring the map. Your one silver lining in that situation is the fact that Warlock tanked the gank and not the Terrorblade. So he's able to TP back base to safety. And, I mean, still, your tower's dead. All 3 tier 1 towers gonna drop at this point.
Not being able to fight into the poison dragon. This is life right now. So he's not going for the pike or the mage slayer. Has a Mjolnir queued up into 4 stuff. I want to consider BKB with the Mjolnir. See what he goes for, but Navi in a very, very dominant position. It doesn't really feel like, it's like you said, right? 4Pirates, they just don't really have damage or team fight, which is so weird to say when you have Tide, OD, and Warlock. I guess it's more that the requirement for them to hit how they win a team fight is harder. They need to get like this tight blink to hit a nice ravage onto a core, maybe blow him up. Make sure no spells get cast by Navi. Meanwhile, for Navi, it's just I blink stun and it's kind of done.
Yeah, Egg right on top of Oteka. He has a nice Sunder. That's going to punish Ari. Wasn't able to get the FP off in time. Okay, no, in it comes. Boom. Still finding the connection, but Oteka starting to walk away. Navi, have they made another mistake where they're overcommitting now? Boom. Starting to drop a little bit low. Sanctity jumps back in for the blink, but Natty now will able to just arcane orb away. And this is another fight in the early game where Navi get themselves an advantage, and this time they dive a bit too deep. 4Pirates completely ready for that go.
Sweet baby, there's the team fight. OD still has.
I'm so surprised that the Sand King didn't just go in with the rest of the team. It felt like he was a bit delayed on that front. Because I'm sure that if he followed up immediately with a blink, they would have just killed the Terrorblade straight up.
You are probably right. He drops the AP. There was a kind of a lag or pulled up.
Oh, RP onto 2, but you don't have the egg anymore. Just a Sunray. Nice 3-man barrel strike though. One of those fellas was a golem, but that's not the one they care about. They get a double kill for themselves. Kari tipping Ari, because that was a very, very nice setup with that Invis rune.
Oh, sometimes you're in the right place in the right time. Gaben gives you the luxury of having Invis in the middle of 3 heroes with no sentries on the ground. Meanwhile, Yuragi steals a shrine in the meantime, farming the left side, farming their ancients. The 4Pirates, they're looking good right now.
Chasing Oteka, looking for the TPR, but Ari, he's in range for the skewer. Boom, waiting the right moment for it. Now Oteka's gonna try and turn around and fight, but really this is just delaying his death. Nice little lingering damage from the Sandstorm. Gonna finish him off. Navi doing a great job clearing up the map. Despite that little fumble in the tier 2 area, this is gonna unlock the Tormentor for themselves. So again, following the same checklist here, you can see the Navi game plan in motion. You can almost tell what the steps are as well. They want to play at a certain tempo, hit this early advantage. And so far, apart from that little flub of a team fight in the tier 2 bot, they're doing everything just fine. 6k gold lead now, Tormentor advantage, up to an 8k gold lead, Battle Fury complete for Yuragi, everything stacking up Navi style.
They get the shard on the perfect hero too. Phoenix Sunray is going to be a huge amount of damage, especially against his Tide, his TB, the mischance too, against OD, double right clickers. Meanwhile, 4Pirates, feels like they don't have any damage right now. Solar Crest done for Kaori too. They're looking up here though.
And Kari, he's just kind of on wave defense duty, right? This is his sort of version of wave clear. Playing from a safe distance. This tier 1 tower should be forfeit though, unless Navi really choose to try and defend it. Akari is 2 levels ahead of Ariel right now. That is nasty stuff. And just start Sunraying. Set up for Ari and the gang to start coming in. Diminishing returns, looking for the skewer a bit off the mark because of a nice snowball save. Ariel probably saw that one coming. Yeah, it's literally both
pretty
supports.
much your whole team. It's just awkward to play this kind of like big ultimate lineups, right? Because right now, if you see Phoenix, like, how do you kill Phoenix realistically? You either have to Ravage or Golem or ODL, right? I'm pretty sure one of the alts have to be dropped. You
might even need 2. Hey, you kind of want to force him into the egg, so even that's a bit easier to kill. Tidehunter in the top lane, Mr. Morel getting found out. It's Navi's turn to rotate up here. Double blinks forward onto the Tide. That watermelon is going to get sliced open. Navi have themselves some fruit.
Navi continuing to sweep Yuragi. He wants no participation in this game whatsoever. Farm ancient to ancient to ancient away from his team. He knows, right? This game is like 2-3 items, go rush. The game just kind of ends.
Once he gets that BKB, he will be untouchable by the Ravage, untouchable by the Sanities, and This Terrorblade, in the meanwhile, a lot for him to worry about. The Blink Daggers, as our observer pointed out, on 3 heroes on Na'Vi. They're just playing with such pace. So easy for them to just pick off 4 Pirates heroes across the map. The safest thing you can do is probably show at your tier 2s, but even then, if Na'Vi choose to sort of make an effort there, it's going to be rough. This has been an amazing game for the Sand King of Boom. He just kind of got a casual Voodoo Mask and is almost finishing up his Aghanim's already at this point.
They're just so farmed. I'm doing a super good job of keeping up. And Narwhal with a little miss. Oops.
Are just
going playing around.
Hell
I
out
think
of there.
Sandy's been doing a real good job of just not dying too, right? Like, you watch previous game, they kind of overextend a lot more. So you said only this one extension in the bottom. It looks right now like they're just going to pull their lead ahead. In this OD, he is not one of those heroes that flash farms. You know, he needs a lane. He kind of needs to snowball from his own laning phase.
I'd see a fight being wound up here, Epicenter. Heard that being channeled. They're going to look for the OD, focus down the Tusk first, skewer him out of there, and a nice Golem onto 3 though, but they've already lost Nati Nawal. Now a nice egg in the middle. They just can't afford to focus it down. Even with the Fatal Bonds going, it's just not going to be enough damage. Otaka, he's trying his best to hit away on any target he can get his hands on, but it's just not going to be enough. 4 heroes on the side of 4 Pirates just drop, and the RP used as well. The stun follow-up, they just don't have a chance to even sunder. It's a team wipe at the 19-minute mark. And one thing is clear, Adam. The mistakes that they made in that game number 1, they for sure talked about it, because this game number 2 is looking so much cleaner.
Yeah, that's a very smart way they're picking fights, and they're also just too far ahead right now, I think. The egg is so hard to fight into. Boom with a very nice epicenter. They go on 2 different targets, and Ari just abusing the... Oh my god, you talked about the mistake. There it is.
Okay, well, you know, you get some of those, okay? It's not too bad. You're 13k gold lead ahead. He's going to ping the ward. He's going to be like, okay. You know, they had vision. Sorry, guys. Didn't expect that, lol. It still doesn't really change much, it feels like. The fact that Na'Vi are this far ahead, but it does give a much-needed injection of gold to Natty Nawal, who is suffering on this OD.
Yeah, they really like damage. It's like you said, right? They just are very reliant on Ult's OD and maybe even Fatal Bond dropping. So when the fight gets initiated separately, or like this Na'Vi lineup just doesn't group up, or when BKBs come out, it's going to be really hard to kind of put in the damage. We see Tide going for a pipe instead of the something like a Blink Shard. So really just all in on this TB and OD having net worth and being able to do damage eventually.
Ariel did manage to find that Blink amidst all the chaos, so just going to try and commit onto Kaori, who just turns around and sunrays him. And someone who knows the limits of his hero, it's going to be this guy. Oh, the damage. Last little Fire Spirit might have finished him off if it landed, but
he's so
instead...
low. He's dead.
Oh, Kaori manages to get the burn damage off. And now, Perdanic in some trouble as well. Boom, meanwhile, just kills Otaka in the bot lane. Okay. Na'Vi finding freebies all across the map. That must have just been the Terrorblade showing on the ward and just getting Epicenter down with the Aghanims complete as well. Yeah, all of that is just magic damage from the Sand King.
And Na'Vi will get Rosh. Now, I guess for Yuragi, I don't think they are high ground ready though. It's a bit too early into the game. Even though they're 12k ahead, they definitely want 1 or 2 more items on this PA. Especially with the burst coming out from 4 Pirates. Unless they get a fight outside. I think that can be something that prompts them to go high ground. No real reason to try the troll.
I mean, realistically speaking, the comeback avenue, as we might have to hold that thought, Ari, skewering the Tusk away. This is the problem with blinking in for a catch. You're the one who's going to get caught out instead. Snowball buying him some time. Meanwhile, Sanctity finds Perdanic. No Warlock Golem and no OD. The point I was going to make is I feel like the only way 4 Pirates win a fight is if they Fatal Bond Sanity's Eclipse. We just haven't seen that combo. 4 Pirates not really respecting how fast Na'Vi could respond there, and now they can definitely high ground.
Yeah, apparently when your opponents leave your base when you're 15k ahead, that's how you go high ground.
5 to
Na'Vi
22
though.
right now. Yeah.
It's so easy for them. It feels like Ari is just
it's
free
so
to do this. No counterplay.
Down Under is a bit of a tougher customer. They will turn around for the Ravage.
There's
Maybe gearing up. It's a lot of damage coming out onto Sanctity. These are the Fatal Bonds that you needed. But just imagine how differently it would look if you had a Sanity's Eclipse. Now, Yuragi's just going to be able to dodge out of trouble. OD tries to TP in. But that move felt like 5 seconds too early. They're looking for Ari cancelling the TP. I just have to give up the Magnus.
Cancel.
Navi, still with the skewer, they're still sticking around. I guess Ari didn't really have a choice, but now Boom going in with the Epicenter. Starting to get auto-attack now by the OD, but without Sanities, they're not scared of a thing. And Yuragi, he's looking for more. Break up onto OD. They're in prison. I mean, not much more to come from it.
Is this are you an OD player, Mike?
Yeah, I play some OD. I play some
Is
OD.
this a normal OD build? The
What's
441?
wrong with it?
No, is this normal?
Yeah, I would say so because, you know, you're not too concerned about the mana coming back in. It always feels like one of those things that's gonna happen anyway. And your ultimate damage isn't based off of your current mana, it's based off your max mana, so...
Yeah, fair. But it does increase your mana too.
Yeah,
I don't know, I feel like the level 3 in the level 3 in Astro is... This is what people used to do. Right. Anyway, back to our great, interesting game we have here.
yeah, very,
Are we
very
gonna-
exciting. April Fool's joke, by the way.
We're gonna find the pirate.
Nah, sneaks away. You kind of smelled that something was up there, right? Like a fresh Terrorblade Illusion cutting the wave. You gotta be around here somewhere, but just decides against it.
2-man smoke. There's a Revenant's Brooch on Boom.
Yikes.
Just damage for days with his eggs. I think this build is super cool. It's nice against the TD and OD too, right?
This is really nice Sand King last pick game, I must say. Just the heroes, they don't have an easy way of committing onto you. It's one of those things where even if you wind up the ulti and you jump in... Yikes. Found another. Bye-bye, Pedanic. He didn't have a golem for the defense anyway. A nice Fatal Bonds. Meanwhile, high ground, Mr. Morale just drops. Easy break, easy kill. All he has is a pipe and a flares and nothing else. So now they're onto the Rex. You take a look at where 4Pirates are on the map. They know they can't contest, but again, this is another situation where Na'Vi, they're just gonna hammer in on your base and they have no reason to stop.
No Sanity's Eclipse too. Just comes up, no golem yet. I feel like even if they can take a team fight, even if they can team white Na'Vi, this game is very, very deep right now.
Yeah.
Deep underwater for the 4Pirates.
They're sinking alright, I'll tell you that much, and they'll just kind of drown in the upper bracket, drop to the lower bracket if this is how it all ends up playing out. They have that golem combo with the Fatal Bonds and Sanity's Eclipse. They could look for an opening, but it's only Yuragi showing on the front lines and they'll play it safe. No need to force the issue. Learning from their past mistakes in that game number 1, Ariel looking for an avenue, but all he finds is Ari, and he's seen that movie before. He's not going to make the same mistake.
It feels so hard, even to defend your base. There's this like RP skewer back, there's this epi that we've seen so many times. I feel like every Sand King game that they're winning, there's just some epi into your base.
It's so easy, and now they're looking at the tide as well. Forced to pop the Ravage out. They could find a nice opening, but the rest of the team not in range, and they don't get the Fatal Bonds off before the Sanities. It's still a good amount of damage. Mr. Morale somehow surviving, but the Egg in a great position. Yuragi chops down that Tidehunter, and the rest of 4Pirates just have to run. Otika now, the BKB, nice the RP finding through. In comes the Epicenter. No Sunder for you, and everyone's going down. The last member remaining is Natty Nowell, but without a Sanity, without a Hurricane Pike, where is he gonna go? Look at Sanctity, 4-star forward, look for the chase, buyback on Ariel, buyback on Otika as well. But no more meta. Maybe you're trying to punish the Dragon Knight. Sanctity will go down. That's a nice kill. But it comes at the cost of your dieback.
Yuragi is still so strong here.
Yeah, you can look for more. There isn't a meta on the TB, which means his illusions are the only thing you need to worry about. He's just going to get skewered away from any sort of help at all. Ari might drop for that transgression. The last tower hit will finish him off, but as a result, Na'Vi able to take the 2 lanes of Rex. It's a 3v3 situation. They can decide to just back up here. Not give any more for 4Pirates to chew on. That's what they'll do. Just play it chill. Maybe wait for the next Roche reset. Wait for the rest of your team to come back. Still, 26k gold lead and basically a team wipe +1 in that situation.
Na'Vi. Game, I want to say pretty much in the bag. I don't really see how 4Pirates take a fight, but that fight looked pretty good, right? With the 3-man Ravage. I think you want to be careful skewering back the Tidehunter. Like you said, I think the fight, he didn't cast Fatal Bonds before Sanity's Eclipse, or at least he didn't wait to... I let his Warlock cast Fatal Bonds. I feel like that might have been the decider in that fight, right? They're all half from just Sanity's itself.
I don't blame him for casting the Sanities, right? It's like they're only going to be stunned for half a second more. The BKBs might come out after that, so you're a bit worried. You want to get the damage in while you can. It did end up helping them get some kills, but again, it's another situation where it felt like Na'Vi, they could have just backed up in that moment. They decided to stick around and play. Smoke's going to break immediately. They don't see anyone, but Boom's in. Boom popping the BKB now, winding it up. Gonna get interrupted by the punch for now, but look at Yuragi. Just finishes off Mr. Morale. The buyback is there. They're focusing down the 8, but they just can't get the hit off. Yuragi, he's just gonna finish them off. And that's gotta be it. That has got to be it. Natty Narwhal can't even kill Sanctity.
Oh, no,
and Mr. Morale gonna come back in for a Ravage that hits nothing. GG is called. Boom with a triple kill. Blinks into everyone and doesn't even miss a beat. That was a very, very easy game for Na'Vi. And if this is how they can play moving forward, the other teams, they're gonna have to keep an eye out.
Yeah, pretty clean game from them this time.